idea of a quadratic. We know what a quadratic is. It has the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus or minus c in this case. And then we're looking at this idea of a discriminant. So the discriminant delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So what this value here is 20, because if we take this number 2 and we square it, that's 4. We then need to do 4 times by this number, which is 8, times it by this. So that gives us negative 16. But then we have to do 4, the b squared, minus 4ac. So 4 minus 16 gives us 20. That's where that 20 comes from, okay? So this is the curve y equals 2x squared plus 2x plus or minus 2, plus minus 2, sorry. And we can see that it has 2 distinct real roots. There is one here and one here, so that's 2 in total. What I want to do is I'm going to start changing some of these values, and I'd like us to see what's happening with the value of the discriminant. So if I move the graph up, okay, we can see that the discriminant is getting smaller. And if I move the graph down, the discriminant is getting bigger, but there are still 2 distinct real roots. Okay, just going to modify the graph slightly. I don't like the notation too much. Now we've got 1x squared. Obviously, we would never write the 1. And I'm just going to make this a little bit more middle. Is that? No? Okay, let's move it again. Let's make it the numbers a little bit easier. Okay, so all I've done is I've moved the graph around again a little bit. The discriminant is still a positive number, and we still have 2 distinct real roots. Right, so I'm going to move the graph up, okay? And you can see that those 2 points are getting closer and closer. Oh, wait a minute. Something's happened. The discriminant is negative now, and it doesn't appear that that line is crossing. All right, I'm not particularly happy with that. Let's just change the graph slightly. Let's make it a little bit easier to see. So let's leave it as an x squared. Let's move it. There we go. All right. Okay. So let's call that. Oh, stop it. 1. Right. So now we've got x squared. We've just got y equals x squared. Okay. Y equals x squared. And the value of the discriminant is 0. Well, from my GCSE, we know that y equals x squared. It only has 1 individual root. It's actually got, so it's got 1 distinct root, or 2 real roots, but they're the same. Okay, so we'd end up with a plus and a minus value. You'll notice that when the value of the discriminant is 0, that happens. So I can change the graph we're looking at. Yeah, okay, so works for negative graphs as well. I can move it to the, okay, so if I move it somewhere, if I shift it up, I can make them closer. You can see that the value of the discriminant down here is approaching 0, and then when it moves above, the value becomes negative. Okay, so the discriminant is obviously doing something or telling us something about the nature of these points.